AI can now read your mind and show you what you're thinking.
What can't AI do nowadays?
So this is a pretty cool story. Basically what they've done, these scientists, they've hooked up people to these MRI machines, and they're able to, by reading their brain waves, use Stable Diffusion, which is an AI model, to create the images they're seeing. So you earlier said it's not a good time to be a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. This is a prime example because, very soon these girls are going to be able to have little headsets on their boyfriends and able to see what they're thinking about in their dreams.
Oh my God.
And if you're not a brunette and you see a brunette,
but also,
right?
Yeah. Well,
now you know what your hubby's thinking about.
Yeah. Look
at some of these examples though. Look at the bear. The bear that the person saw, and then the bear that Stable Diffusion created. Or look at the clock tower.
The one on the top. Top is the original image.
Yes, and then below is what Stable Diffusion was able to discern from the brain imaging.
Wait a minute. So is the top is what they thought in their brain?
What they were looking at.
Oh, gotcha.
Because a lot of people can't actually think this visually to begin with. Mm-hmm. So it's actually the human brain looking at the image and then recording the brain information and then creating it in Stable Diffusion. Okay,
remember that? Remember the Black Mirror episode?
I didn't watch a lot of Black Mirror.
You've seen this one with me. It was when they ran over somebody with a bike.
Okay.
Like 20 years ago, and then 20 years later, they have this machine where they can like attach like a little pill to your brain real quick, and they can get like your memories from like remember, and then that moment. Yeah, and then spoiler alert, she goes on like a murderous rampage to like cover her tracks.
Yeah,
it was like in Iceland or something.
Yeah, she could find out who she had basically like who was aware of what she did.
Yeah, exactly. And so she goes on a murderous rampage. Right, dark episode, pretty good though. This is gonna happen.
Yeah,
this is basically this technology coming to light.
This is honestly pretty freaky. Like imagine you like did a crime and then the police could put this on your head and like make you go back, make you confirm what you saw.
Never talk to the police.
No.
That's why I learned from YouTube.
How impressive do you think these Stable Diffusion images are? Like they're pretty close to the image you're looking at.
Yeah.
How soon will it be able to be like exact?
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Like they can literally just like take your eye, because at that point people can see for you.
Honestly, like a year.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, because what I'm thinking is that from what you see right here, it's already like just like if you just had a story, like a text story mixed with a bunch of these, you already know what it is, right? Like you already can tell exactly from what it is.
If you're like an undercover agent wearing like secret camera goggles, people can take those off of you. People can tell that those are like recording video. Yeah. But if you're an agent with a little like brain monitor under your hair, and then back at the CIA base, they can see in real time what you're seeing from your brain waves.
Yeah.
Skip your eyes, skip the lens altogether.
That's what I'm saying. Like, or think about this. Like, you know how like they do the Rorschach test, like where it's like, what do you see here? Do you see two bears or do you see a butterfly? I mean, a little aside, was there any merit to that test at all? Like, did that really say anything?
I have no idea.
Okay. But either way, you can do something pretty crazy, like some real psychoanalysis with this.
And see what people kind of create on their own. Yeah. Very interesting.
Or for like criminal investigations, like have a look at this picture. Where is he buried?
This would be fun to play with.
Yeah.
This would be a fun tool to play with.
Do you know if we can play with this?
No. We don't have these like advanced MRI machines. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, not yet. Well, there's another amazing story. This text AI video company is ready to take the video world by storm. Runway is a new company that has a ton of...
Oh, I got invited to this.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you have access to it?
I think so. Oh, wait, no. I think it was just Gen 1 because you're about to mention Gen 2, right?
Yeah, so this Gen 1 is now available, but Gen 2 has a lot of cool tools that are coming.
Wow.
So, man, some of these are really impressive. I mean, you have your typical generating images, which is just probably powered by DALL-E or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can also generate videos from a single image, video clip, or text prompt. And this could be like animated videos or photorealistic. It's very, very impressive. You can also do the infinitely expand images, which again, I think is something that DALL-E provides. But some of the pretty cool tools was you can erase things from videos, things like cars driving or...
Is this Gen 2 or is this on the website right now?
It's on their website right now, so maybe it's part of Gen 1. But one of the most interesting takeaways for me was slow-mo anything. So this is something that I always thought about was like, how come, we can't get good slow motion in post when we have the information between every frame?
Yeah.
But it just always looks like really bad. It's not right. If you use like Premiere's, what is it called? Like flow motion or there's like
a thing where they like predict each individual
frame blending, frame blending. But with AI, it's a very impressive slow motion where they're generating new images between all these frames. And to me, this is very, very disruptive because there's a ton of businesses that have built technology that's specifically around powering high frame rate recording.
Yeah.
And, do those companies just like lose stock value like immediately because, I could shoot on my iPhone and get like 1,000 frames per second?
Yeah. I don't know, because again, there is definitely value, but at the same time, like, still pretty damn impressive. I'm looking at the one tennis shot that is on that website right now.
Yeah,
it's very impressive.
Yeah, there's that. There's erasing things from video. There's also removing any background. So, are these tools, tools that are going to be able to steal users away from Premiere and DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut, or do you think those incumbents are going to have their own suite of AI tools pretty soon?
I mean, Adobe is definitely going to have their own tools soon, but like,
I don't know about Final Cut and DaVinci Resolve though.
You don't think so?
I don't know about anytime soon.
I feel like DaVinci is already pretty like good when it comes to it. I think it's better than Adobe in a lot of aspects.
For AI tools?
Yeah.
I haven't used any of them.
I know they have one where it's like one. Do you know what the worst tool in After Effects is?
No.
Roto Brush.
Gotcha.
It's so horrible. It's so annoying to use. Again, like I'm just looking at this tool right here, the remove any background from like a video. Like this should be easy, you know what I mean? Like how come in Photoshop you can remove the subject, or in Lightroom you can like mask out the subject, but in After Effects you can't do that.
Yeah, the processing for every single frame.
Yeah, but I mean like that's what Roto Brush does anyway. It
just
grabs every single frame. So I think Adobe just needs to they need to hurry up, but I'm happy to see more innovation because I feel like Adobe just they've failed to innovate for so long. Now they're catching up with their stuff.
Yeah, would you use Runway, or would you rather wait and see what the big video editors do?
I mean, to be honest, like, I am stuck on the Adobe suite. Like, I tried to go to DaVinci, but then it took too much. So I was like, oh.
They got you locked in.
Yeah. Oh, I see Gen 2. Research.runway.ml.com/Gen 2.
Yeah, the next step forward for generative AI.
Do you want to watch the explainer right now?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, wow. The new model is just like very significantly better at quality. This isn't a change the way that people storyboard. You could literally storyboard an entire film before you film it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Which is cool because now cinematographers and directors can get very creative on not the scenes but the shots.
Yeah.
And then come up with a bunch of ideas for different shots before because it's so hard to be creative at that moment when you're filming, right? You got all these people and everyone's waiting. It's like hard to like experiment, but now you can be like, try it again, but like the shot's like underneath the driver's seat door or something, you know what I mean? And they can see what the camera looks like from that position. And
it does look really good. The thing is though, is that it's definitely not like where people think it is. You know when like
it's not production ready.
Yeah, definitely not. But you know what? I think you just made a really good point. Like imagine using this to storyboard something or get like inspiration for like shots you want to make. Yeah, that's honestly, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it would be a good tool for creators, which I think a lot of these AI tools are ultimately going to be.
Mm-hmm. What if we can create 3D avatars of ourselves?
I think that's something that you can do now.
Yeah, it's something you can do. So 3D avatars. Do you want to be represented by a 3D avatar?
I'm okay with it. I just don't have a preference for it. It feels childish. I can't do like a serious Teams meeting talking about like business analytics and then see somebody's like animated character like wink, in the Teams call. This is kind of like, to me, it's like Mark Zuckerberg's like Facebook or Meta avatars.
Well, it's funny because Microsoft Teams is getting 3D avatars.
Testing 1, 2, 3. We're good. Go ahead.
Microsoft Teams is getting 3D avatars in May, and these avatars will animate based on your vocal cues alone, so you don't have to appear on camera during meetings. So, I mean, there's a little GIF right there that I sent in the chat. You can see exactly what it looked like. But Microsoft's also planning to use these avatars in its immersive 3D meetings that has partnerships with Meta to roll out to VR headsets. So you're literally going to have like a 3D kind of thing. So
this is actually really interesting because Meta's headset records your face in real time. This is saying you can have your camera completely off. There's nothing recording your face, but based on how you're speaking, your avatar's facial expressions will change.
Yeah.
So if you're laughing, it'll obviously show it laughing, and if it sounds like you're smiling.
did you see the GIF?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
It's weird because, again, like, here's the thing. With the immersive 3D meetings, if everyone was a 3D avatar, it would be better, right? But if you have, like, in this GIF here where it's like some guy talking and then it's
a random 3D avatar, it's just weird.
It's just like, I don't like.
It's like when do we start playing like online free,
Yeah, it's like
games?
It's like VR chat. Like, I mean, you haven't played VR chat, right?
No.
Well, it's like VR chat. You walk in and you talk to a couple furry, you talk to a couple of anime girls, right? It's like weird. You go in there and you're like, all right, this is a weird situation. I get it because I'm also like a weird anime girl, or I'm like a milk carton, or I'm Shrek or something, which is like such a weird thing to say at this day of age, right? But if you're like a business professional here talking to, some girl, and it's like, quarterly results are great this month, and then the 3D avatar's like this.
It's a bit weird.
It's freaking weird.
Yeah, I don't think the world's ready for this. Maybe I'm wrong and they are ready for this, but this would throw me off in a meeting. It'd be hard for me to focus.
I would demote this girl.
Would you guys use a 3D avatar for your team's meetings?
I hate it.
So AI is not just stopping at video. Pitchbook's VC exit predictor is now an AI tool that will predict whether a startup will be acquired, go public, or not exit, and due to events such as bankruptcy. And the tool was 75% accurate in tests. So
wow.
Basically, this company, they went and they trained this model on businesses that have done at least 2 rounds of investing to see like what are the common like we talked about this in our AI episode, but using a neural network, training the AI to figure out what are the indicators of a good business and how do you know if a certain type of business based on the industry, the founders, the total market cap, etc. How they're going to end up closing out the business, whether it's an exit or going public or in through IPO or being acquired. And because they used data that was like the businesses needed at least 2 rounds of investment, it was pretty good data source. I think they got it from is it Crunchbase?
Yeah.
So anyway, once they did that, they were able to go back and predict against those businesses.
Wow.
And see how accurate it was in predicting the outcomes. And when they did that, it was 74% accurate in predicting whether it was a no exit, being acquired, or going public. Which at the same, I think one thing to be honest about is that even if it was completely random, there's only so many options. So it probably would have got like between 25 and 30% accurate. But 75 is pretty extraordinary, considering this is just the beginning. In a couple of years, you might find that you're talking to an investor and you're pitching your idea and you're really passionate, and they're just like, hold on a minute. Just running this through my VC predictor. Ooh,
which I hate. I hate that.
Love your idea, but I'm seeing a 42% probability that you're going to have an IPO, so I'm just not going to invest. It's almost like AI is going to drive human capital.
Yeah,
people are going to put their money where AI is telling them is the best place to put it, and it's not going to be on intuition, on feel, on faith in an individual founder.
Which, I mean, there is good. Like, it's funny because, like you said, there is pros and cons to both sides of it. Like, if I was a venture capitalist, like if I had money, like
you don't want to risk it.
Yeah, you don't want to risk it, right? Yeah. I mean, of course, there's like a lot of people when they think of like venture capital, they think of like big wig or something, right? But like realistically, even if this was like an investing app for like a lower income person,
Pitchbook's used by lots of angel investors.
Yeah, like. Even if I had $10,000 and I wanted to like put it into something, I would use this app for sure, right? So there's that aspect, but at the same time, you're right. There are some founders out there who are like, they might just have like a crazy idea.
Yeah. That might be good enough.
But then you also have the WeWorks of the world, right? Where they're just kind of, definitely should be a little bit suspect.
But you know what's interesting? It'll probably end up being a tool that, among other tools that VCs already use, just how they already use calculators to determine unit economics and scalability and total addressable market. I think the AI predictor is just going to be one of those tools they use, and then the alpha is going to be in just knowing what a good founder looks like, knowing what I forget the guy from WeWork what his name was, but knowing how Yeah, Adam Newman. Yes, knowing what an Adam Newman looks like and how to, watch out for those red flags, or a Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be where, VCs are able to kind of discern, this is a great founder, even though the score is not 100% where I want it to be, or this is a bad founder, even the score is saying 100% IPO, successful exit.
Or could you imagine it was like, PitchBook's VC exit is like, all right, here's the perfect founder, and then it used Runway ML to like generate what that person looked like.
Yeah, actually, what? Interesting. I don't know if the story's on here, but they had AI generate pictures of CEOs, and 97% of them were white and male.
Well, I mean, like, yeah.
That's so it's interesting. They're talking about like the bias in AI that exists today, which I think is like correctable. I just think probably 97% of CEOs are probably like not white and male, but male. Here's the thing: AI, it kind of accumulates. So, for example, if I told either of you guys, right, and I was like, hey, there's a CEO behind this backdrop. You have to guess their gender and you have to guess their skin color. If you guys are betting, you guys would gamble on white male.
Yeah.
Probably, because that is the most common. But if you ask AI to generate it 100 times, they're going to always give you the highest probable outcome. I argue if you ask AI to generate 100 images of different CEOs, it would probably give you not 97% white males. I think if you just ask it once, it's gonna provide the highest probability answer. But if you asked it for 100, it would show some women, show some Asians, some black people. Like, it would show a mix of everybody.
According to this, in 2021, it was 86% white male of CEOs in the Fortune 500.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't blame AI for doing it 97,
and
which is higher than true.
Even when you look at like fiction, right? It's always portrayed as like the, fit white man who so I understand. I mean, there obviously it's just that's kind of like the issue with AI nowadays, is it just kind of takes the data
and gives you the truest answer.
Yeah, which
is not wrong. It just, you have to think about how you're prompting it. Because again, like I said, if you had just asked it, can you generate me 100 images of CEOs? I don't know if it would create 97 of them being white male.
Yeah.
Maybe it would, and maybe that would be probably wrong. But if you ask it once, it's going to give you what is most likely a CEO. So that's kind of interesting as well.
It is interesting.
AI is pretty much just playing a role in everything today, like politics and business and freaking the circus.
I mean, we're trying to shoehorn it into everything nowadays. How often do you see like AI powered cameras, AI powered plant growth, AI powered fertilization, Yeah,
this is like the internet. It's insane that we're living through and we're in business and we're commentating on like one of the biggest moments in history.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw someone tweet, for decades nothing happens, or days happen, and then in days decades happen, which is like very like, I don't know, it was a profound statement, because we're kind of living in that right now. We're like living in every day is like years of progress, it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it'll probably start to like fizzle out once like the AI boom is like kind of fun, but that's probably a few years from now before the AI boom starts to kind of simmer a little bit.
Well, I wonder like maybe we should ask ChatGPT 4 now, what jobs are going to exist? Because like eventually there's going to be jobs that don't exist now, because right now we're just replacing jobs. What about the jobs so let's see here. Name 10 jobs that will exist in 2040. Okay, let's try this.
We asked GPT-4 what new jobs will exist in 2040.
Okay, first one is climate change adaptation specialist. This role will help communities and organizations adapt to the effects of climate change and develop strategies for resilience. Oh, damn it.
I don't know about that answer. Keep going. Is there
You
some
don't
more?
know about that answer?
No, I think it's good, but I feel like that's just like,
I mean, it's boring.
It's boring. Yeah.
Well, it's like, damn it.
I could have told you that,
Yeah, I just want to go on here to feel good,
Some sci-fi shit. What else do they got?
Vertical farming manager.
Nice.
As urban agriculture grows in popularity, vertical farming managers will oversee the efficient cultivation of crops in multi-story indoor farms. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Epic.
Imagine, like, I can just picture like the cool, like, futuristic look of like, welcome to the vertical farming, like,
and you're just like elevating on like a hover like device up the floor. It's like an elevator, but it's,
you know what, we need to elevator tech. What's going on with that? I feel like elevators have stayed stagnant for a while.
Yeah, elevators are kind of boring. They need better music. Imagine AI elevator. You walk in, it analyzes your experience, and then
Your mood.
Your mood, and then you just basically tell it like what you want to listen to. The
Yeah.
lighting and the music changes to your preferences. They need to add that to like some bougie like hotels.
There was a funny thing on Twitter where it was like someone on TikTok was like trying to brighten people's day by singing and playing a guitar in an elevator, but it's like that's like they just could not read the room. Like that like sounds like nightmare fuel. You know what I mean? That's how you would want to take that guitar and smash it right there.
Yeah, in the elevator too, with the acoustic, the sound bouncing all over the walls.
God, horrible. All right, biofabrication engineer. That sounds AI generated.
Yeah.
These engineers will work on developing and producing sustainable materials, including lab-grown meat and textiles, to reduce environmental impact. That's pretty cool.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of those that in textiles and also in lab-grown meat.
AI ethicist. As AI becomes more prevalent, professionals with expertise and ethical considerations will be needed to ensure that AI systems are designed and used responsibly. Sounds like kind of like the philosophy major.
I love that job because I could just sit at work and just ask ChatGPT if it's ethical or not. It's like, is this AI ethical? Get back to me. I'm gonna spend a couple days thinking about this.
I could just picture
and just play video games or whatever.
every like executive table at like an AI company is like, all right, and we have chief
Ethical.
AEO, the CAEO, the chief AI ethicist officer, and then all they do is just say why. Like they just say why after everything.
Yeah.
Why?
Ask the questions that people want to answer and not answer them themselves.
But why? It sounds like a philosophy.
Sounds like a good job. It's funny you mentioned this too, Lewis, because ChatGPT actually put out a paper, the OpenAI, about a research paper on what jobs have the highest and lowest exposure to GPT. So are you wondering if your job is going to be taken by AI? OpenAI has provided the answers. So people like interpreters and translators, survey researchers, poets, lyricists, creative writers, animal scientists, and public relationships specialists all have a ton of exposure between 66 to 75%. Some of the jobs here are indicated to have like very high variance, meaning the probability is like pretty broad and it could either be, it's very significant or not so much. And those include things like search marketing strategists, graphic designers, investment fund managers, financial managers. But there's a ton of other jobs: mathematicians, text preppers, blockchain engineers, accountants and auditors. A ton of different jobs that have different exposure. And they're basically, and some of them, it's like 100% exposure. Like if you're a tax prepper, like you're exposure simply means that you're likely to have a 50% reduction in your time spent.
Do you know what's hilarious? I'm reading through all of this right now, and it just like they mentioned blockchain engineers multiple times, but not like just regular programmers.
Yeah, because OpenAI was like, take them off the list.
That's what I'm saying. They lost like all their NFT sales, so they're like,
fuck them.
Yeah,
100%. I saw a tweet, and it was kind of sad. It was a guy that shared an image from, I think it was like a Reddit page. And the guy was talking about how at his job, where he is a 3D animator, it's a small team, they're in game development. Mm-hmm. He works with one other animator. And he said that his job has changed in the last couple of months, where he no longer does any 3D design. He doesn't sculpt or create anything. All he does is he prompts. Oh. And it's his boss is obviously wants that because it's the guy in the tweet actually, or in the post, acknowledges that the work is actually better now. So he's like, wow, it's better than what I was producing. It's significantly faster. And my boss just thinks it's a huge time saver. But he was having a massive crisis about how he's not doing what he really signed up to do. Mm-hmm. And he also mentioned that his job security was always there because he was a little bit better than the other 3D artist. But now they're the same because they're both using AI to do it.
Do you know what's hilarious too? Part of me wonders if you go on Fiverr now and you search up an Illustrator or something like that, and they'll just use Midjourney or something.
Yeah, there's probably whole gigs that are built on that.
Yeah,
giving you custom art. It's arbitrage right now.
Yeah,
but it's just interesting because he even said in the tweet, in that post, he said, I don't know what to do because I feel like I'm no longer doing what I love. But if I quit, it's going to be impossible to find a job because my industry has been dramatically shaken.
Yeah,
and all these companies don't need as much creators to make games. They can survive off much fewer creators using. So I don't know what tool they were using, prompting 3D objects, but they were using something to.
I know there's a way when it comes to. So I think the way that it works right now is that like the 3D modeling aspect of it still exists, but like the texturing, the like scripting, all that is done through some sort of like AI tooling. So like basically as soon as you got the 3D model, like just basically close to done, everything else is doable. Like you can just do the texturing, the texture map, like all those like kind of complicated things that you need to do, all the render settings too that you'd have to program. It's all good to go now. And then also the scripting if you're making games too.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for the moment. Like, have you seen the Unreal Engine 5.2?
Yes.
That it looks insane, doesn't it?
Looks like real people.
Yeah, but did you see the how it like blends in? Like when you put something down, it blends everything around it.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Here, I'll show you right now. Go on YouTube, search up Unreal Engine 5.2 is getting too real. It's by Fireship. Now go to 1 minute and 2 seconds, okay? So it's like
It takes away the mundane task of like having an idea, but then having to do all the work to get there. Because like placing every individual thing and like positioning it individually is just so much boring work.
Because it does make sense when you like if you make an open world game, like obviously the places like if you wanted to make like cities or something, it's going to be better when that's like designed by a human, right? But what about all the places in between? You don't want it to be just like a like a flat plane between two spots. You want it to feel like a real place. So it does do that. But I think it was insane, and like I'm really looking forward to the day where we can do text to video game. Text to video game.
Just build a game for yourself from text.
Yeah. AAA game that sells millions of dollars.
Enter.
Yeah, enter.
And then like ship to the
enter your bank account.
And enter your bank and then ship to Steam. Like one click later.
Oh God. So this one company is on a mission to revolutionize space exploration, and you will not guess who it is.
Who's doing that?
Rolls-Royce, the luxury car maker.
What are they doing What are they building on the moon?
So with funding from the UK Space Agency, so like the UK Space Agency is like, when they say they're spending money on a Rolls-Royce, this is what they were talking about. They're developing a miniature nuclear reactor that will power a moon base and enable humans to live and work on the lunar surface.
This feels off-brand for Rolls-Royce.
I mean, absolutely.
To be building a nuclear facility on the moon.
Like they have a meeting from 1 to 2 to talk about how they can overcharge for their, Mercedes-Benz, right? Or their Rolls-Royce. So they're like, all right. And at 2:00, we'll talk about
our nuclear space program.
Yeah, literally. What the hell? So the stakes are high, and the company is racing against the clock to have a demonstration model ready by 2029. Their research will focus on generating, transferring, and converting heat into usable energy, paving the way for the new possibility in off-world living.
We're literally living in the sci-fi transition period, which kind of sucks because like in 100 years, it's probably gonna be way doper.
Yeah.
And we're gonna miss like eternal life, like cancer-free living. We're probably gonna miss like
insane robots,
like 1 pill 6 packs, like not having to be pregnant and still have babies. Like we're missing like the golden era, but we have to build it.
Yeah, it's like damn it.
God damn
and
it.
They're gonna look back like you know what I worry about in the textbooks of the future. They're gonna have pictures of us and be like, this is what humans used to look like. It's like damn it, we worked hard to be here. You know?
It sucks. But like this is so. I mean, we're talking about AI. We're talking about these like circuses with holograms. And now Rolls-Royce is putting a nuclear plant on the moon by 2029.
Yeah.
Or no, that's demonstration by 2029.
Yeah,
regardless,
demonstration.
In our lifetime, there's going to be an energy facility on the moon.
So this project is a major milestone in the future of space exploration, and the implications are truly out of this world.
Do you think that they're trying to put energy on the moon so that the rich elites can escape the planet and live on a moon base that is like completely awesome?
I think so. And they want to
try to get engagement.
They want to drive Rolls-Royces on the moon.
Oh my God. That's why Rolls-Royce is doing this.
Yeah.
Who else has a customer base of elite rich folk?
Yeah.
Rolls-Royce. And now they're going to put a nuclear facility on the moon so they can power all of their 100-inch TVs, electric vehicles.
Yeah. Could you imagine in like 2030, there's like an influencer campaign where it's like, day in the life on my moon base, that'd be hilarious.
Dude, what's that movie where like everyone's poor on the planet? And I think it's like, I forget who the actor is. I'm forgetting his name now.
And they shrink?
No, they no, that's a good movie too.
I haven't seen that one,
But they some little girl is sick, so they try to take her to the planet, or not the space base. You know what I'm talking about? Basically all the rich people live on a space station.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only place you can get decent health care. Can you imagine that was like and everyone on the Elysium. It's honestly good. It's that guy, Matt Damon. That's it. I knew it was sorry about that.
Actually, is Matt Damon in the other one too?
Yeah, he is. He's in the one that you were talking about as well. So basically in this movie, all the rich people live on a space station. What if Rolls-Royce is trying to build a rich people moon?
Yeah.
That would be kind of like fire.
It kind of would be. Yeah, that's like the new status symbol.
Yeah, like do you summer on the moon, or do you do you live there full time?
Yeah, cool. Like you have an electric Rolls-Royce. Like everyone's got one of those nowadays. But are you on the do you have like a cottage up on the moon?
Yeah.
You know?
Like do you summer there?
Yeah.
Like I summer on the moon.
Like what was it called? Like winter birds or something?
Yeah, snowbirds.
Snowbirds. Yeah, they're moon birds. Now.
I used to do Florida, but honestly, like it's so busy there. Mm-hmm. So me and my partner, we just go to the moon.
Views are amazing on the moon.
Amazing. Yeah. Look down. It's like there's no better way to look down on the people of the earth than from space.
Yeah.
That's funny. So Apple has been really quiet in this AI race.
Yeah, they have been.
But apparently they have a undercover code-named Bobcat project that they're working on.
Wait, so Apple has a Bobcat? Like the things that moves waste?
No, like the animal bobcat.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know the Bobcats?
No. Do you? It's a vehicle. No, I would assume that this is referring to like the animal, given their branding association with like Yosemite Park and
gotcha. No, I was just saying like
Mountain Lion.
An Apple Bobcat, like that has like Siri integration and
nice. But yeah, they're working on something, and apparently it's focusing on Siri. And I actually saw on Twitter some guy made his own app where instead of Siri you can use ChatGPT.
Oh, wow.
You just tap it and then Siri asks you a question or whatever, like how can I help you? And then you tell Siri anything, but then Siri doesn't actually send the response. It hits the API and then ChatGPT gives you the response.
Oh wow.
But it's in Siri's voice. So some guy like made a free app that you can use that's better than Siri. It's just crazy. But apparently that's what Apple's working on, trying to make Siri better using AI. But what AI do they even have? Like Google has Bard. Microsoft has invested in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Like, does Apple even have like a horse in the race?
I don't even know. Like, I mean, they have Siri, but like, ain't nobody like Siri.
Siri's really stupid.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Oh yeah, just say yeah. Like, I mean, I don't like Apple has nothing when it comes to AI. It's actually kind of like weird how they haven't even announced anything because it seems like they're not like in the race whatsoever. Like when you talk about AI, like I don't even think about Apple.
No, but they obviously have to have something in the works. I mean, all these consumer products are going to need Siri. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think Apple will be able to join this AI race, or is it too late for them, and have they fallen too far behind?
I mean, I think they kind of. I mean, they have like the hardware, So at the end of the day,
and they have the distribution and the users.
That's what I'm saying.
They could immediately roll something out. I just hope that you know what? It'd be cool to see a third big horse in the race competing for this. So I hope we hear from Apple. Hopefully we get their VR headsets too this fucking year. Like
I've heard that this June they're going to announce it.
Oh my God, please. I can't wait.
Yeah, like the rumors are like there's actually a rumor that they did a demonstration to executives at the Steve Jobs Theater of a demo of it. So it might be this June that we might hear about it.
Unreal. I'm looking forward to that. So we covered a lot of AI so far, Lewis, but here are the top 3 AI stories that you got to know from this past week.
Yeah. So ChatGPT plugins allows you to talk with other services with ChatGPT. I was actually invited to the ChatGPT plugins beta or alpha, I guess you could say. And it's really cool. So this is major. OpenAI is allowing developers to create extensions with ChatGPT. So it's pretty cool because things like Instacart has created a plugin where you can use ChatGPT to shop for groceries, or like you can use Shop, which is by Shopify, to be able to ask it to search this database of different clothing or products that you can get. And it's really cool. So like, again, there's just it just kind of like opens up the floodgates of what you can do, because now you can programmatically talk to different services in this using ChatGPT. It's really amazing.
Yeah, I think the GPT plugins actually might end up killing a bunch of businesses that were built on top of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's rather than building an app, they've just built an ecosystem. It's kind of like the Apple Store, like the App Store in a way. So they have like a platform, and then people can just kind of put their own app. Can you pay for the plugins, or are they all free?
Right now it's just free, but it's also just an alpha too. Like it's just
It's early still.
Yeah, and also they open source their fetching API. So what it does is that you can now ask ChatGPT to look something up for you. So it can go to a website, it can find something for you, and
can it do Google searches and stuff?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It probably Bing searches, but yeah.
Wow.
You can literally ask it something and it'll search it for you, and then it'll give you the information that it finds on the web page. It's honestly a really cool piece of software. So I'm very much looking forward to what that is, and it's cool that they opened it up for developers.
Another exciting advancement is Adobe released a whole suite of tools under the Adobe Firefly brand, and all these tools are powered by AI, and they can do a ton of tremendous things. But most notably, on top of all of the image generation, video generation, graphic design support from AI that you come to expect, apparently all of this was trained on like consenting data. So it wasn't. It did not take any art from anybody to build out these amazing models, which I think for corporations makes it a really easy choice to choose this over maybe Canva or one of the other open source tools that exist that have had some PR issues with using like artists' information. But it's really cool to see, in Photoshop being able to change a scene to snowy with text. Take an image that's like, perfectly sunny outside with green grass and saying, hey, I want to change this scene to winter. Mm-hmm. And then it not looking like crap either. Like it looking relatively high quality.
And it does look really good.
Yeah, of course. It has to, because Adobe's dealing with professionals, and they can't give them like something that's like cool but not production ready. Like they have to be able to publish the work. And I'm just watching a demo here about how they generate these like product mock-ups, and it's phenomenal. Creating scenes, like artwork, and even making mood boards from like a little bit of text. I think
it's fantastic.
The amount of work creative people are going to be able to accomplish is going to be insane. And also the effects that we'll have the time to do now, like being able to take a time-lapse scene and then use AI to like change a subject every single frame. You would never have the time to do that in the past, but now you can.
I think it's cool too how they kind of the way they advertised it is it was more of a functional tool for creatives versus kind of like what you see kind of now, where it's like, it's going to be the replacement of artists. They've really focused on like enabling
creatives to do better work. So yeah, that was another really big, exciting piece of news from this past week.
Microsoft is copying Notion with Microsoft Loop. So it's like the Notion AI, like the Notion killer, basically, because it takes everything you do in Microsoft 365 and puts it in one place. If you go on the Microsoft Loop website, you can see that it's basically a carbon copy of Notion with the way you do documents. Notion has really kind of revolutionized the way you create documents and like share things by giving you kind of like a very unopinionated editor that you can put databases, you can put columns, you can do whatever you want with it. And they have just completely copied it, similar to how they did with Teams with Slack way back in the day. But it includes Copilot, which is an AI tool. So you'll get help with saving time, spreading out tasks, and managing group work. It's just like a big virtual work table. So with Copilot, you can ask it to summarize things. There's just so much things you can do with Copilot, and especially in this, which if you kind of like look back into it, part of me wonders, Notion must have really 100% saw this coming. So they were like, we have to build this Notion AI like as soon as possible.
And Notion does a great job of integrating with other tools. But does Microsoft's ability to integrate their existing suite of very, very popular tools like Excel, PowerPoint, and Docs, and then Teams and the collaboration, does it make it almost impossible for Notion to compete? Are we going to see what we saw with Slack and Teams happen again? Because Notion is one of the most exciting and highest valuated private software companies today.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, because again, I do know back in the day, Slack was one of those tools that was just like, it was so like everyone needed to use it, right? I don't even know if that's necessarily 100% true with Notion for a lot of people. So I feel like Loop might not do as well in the kind of the copy. But I mean, we're talking about their distribution, right? Like,
well, see, when Microsoft created their Slack killer, Slack was really, really broadly adapted and used. But I feel like Notion's not there, like you said. So I feel like almost Microsoft has more of an advantage because they're immediately going to distribute it to so many folks.
Yeah.
And they also don't even need to make money on this product. They can basically bundle it with their existing tools as an add-on. And it's going to be hard for Notion to compete. I'm even thinking we should look at it from our company's perspective. So I'm thinking, if we can get Loop, Teams, all of these tools for less than we're paying for all of those different tools, and they're better integrated, that would be worth investigating.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I never thought,
not sponsored.
I never thought I would be, chasing a Bill Gates product here, but
no, it's Satya now. We gotta give credit to the Go.
Yeah, Satya is bringing Microsoft back on their A shit.
Yeah,
it's awesome to see.
Yeah, we talked about the white man CEOs. They're not doing anything good anymore. It's the Indian CEOs that are killing it.
Yeah, they're on a tear right now.
India is goated. India really is goated.
Yep. So there was a lot of AI stories this week, Lewis. Maybe we'll just publish this whole segment as a podcast episode. And for the folks that are listening that want to follow us online, they can always see our shorts.
I think we just need to be the AI podcast at this point, right?
Let us know in the comments below if we should just focus on AI literally every single week. Honestly, I'd be okay with it. Yeah. Like if our couple of fans are giving us the okay, I say we pivot.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Fast Forward. I'm your host, Lee. Wow.
Leave that in.
Wow.
I'm your host, Lee.
Thank you for listening to Fast Forward this week. I'm Lewis.
And I'm Lee.
And if you really enjoyed this podcast, make sure you give it 5-star to wherever you listen to, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or more. You can find us on social medias like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, wherever.
Yeah, and we hope to see you in the next one.